All right, everybody, here in the hallway of Worlds, while finals is going on, so hopefully we can finish this up in a timely manner to see if Travis gets his first character or if Kevin gets his third or something. We have from the LCQ to top 32, our man Jacob Johnson. He is on Elder Toguro, and I'll let you guess the symbol as the deck profile goes on.
Here we go. All right, so I started playing Elder about 3 months ago. And I decided that I wanted to make this one ultra rare do something. I know there's a Hanj deck that you can play with it, but I wanted to do it really funny wise. So my whole deck is around killing people in one shot with this thing.
Sure.
So I made this deck as a joke initially, and then it tested so well that I ended up playing it for the LCQ and everything because it's pretty uninteractive. I can actually just start with that part of it. So my main package for my defense is the destroy mechanic. So my character makes me destroy. I gotta swap stats. It keeps it to where everyone's being honest.
Yeah.
You can't throw one big statted move. You have to be symmetrical. But these help me draw cards if I would end up running out of a hand ever. Pretty basic spam. I got Best Buddies. This says gain a life. Notice we have attuned of all of our cool symbols. It's the easiest way to play any life gain deck. So if you have death and life, so we have all those cool cards. We have this I'm with yous. This card is very key, and I'm going to bring this up later. This is just part of the destroy. I'm going to put it off to the side though. We're going to bring it back up later. I have more life gain on Briefer Spite. We have greater goals as well. Since we swap and then destroy, we get to, they send any low speed moves that are going to be for nothing at all times. So we just destroy one to ignore any attack.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
And I've noticed that you're playing only 2 of it just because all of your foundations in this have text, right? Yeah. So it's not costless to use.
Exactly. You're losing something if you're doing it usually. So you don't want to use too much of this. We have our best card. It has our face on it, so we had to play 4.
Makes a lot of sense.
Immortal Shapeshifter is probably the strongest card in the deck. It just lets us keep our life total up, and if they ever send moves that are small, we just can take them. So we don't care if our opponent has momentum usually, because now EX and powerful don't matter in this against this deck. You can after they do it, you can just swap it. So you don't care if they use it.
And in a similar vein with the recoup time that's in your hand right now, sometimes a la Ymir, you do need to be a little bit lower in life to get the damage pump so that you can have the multiple instances of gain life.
The cool thing is when you play against Ymir too, if they use that plus 20 damage, you're like, okay, I'll swap it and gain a life and minus everything.
Fantastic,
so you don't care. These we'll bring up later when I get to my action cards. Obviously, we all know about Combined Firepower, so I'll just talk about that for a little bit. These are the normal foundations. Minus speed is really good against decks that are trying to play throws ever on you. This is actually just a -3 speed, swap it so you can ignore a throw. No one gives speed to those, so...
Yeah, it's modal, either speed reset or damage reset.
This is Desperate Plea. This card's sick. I'm just going to set it to the side though, because this is going to also go with the actions. The whole point of my defense was with this card, so... we have resets. Since we want low stats somewhere, if they do symmetrical stats, we have to have some way to deal with that.
Yeah.
So we have Pageant Queen and we have Invincible Body. All these can set it to 0 or 1. Then we can swap it, or we can just deal with it that way. And then we needed a 0 diff, and this is the only one that I saw playable for our symbol. So this is the one we're playing. We don't take momentum, so we couldn't play Master's Pride.
Yeah.
I never take momentum.
By the way, we're on the evil symbol.
Oh, yeah. By the way, you can tell I do have 3 evil foundations. 5 evil... No, these have life. 3 evil foundations here. We are the evil symbol, yes. So we're going to move on. Assets. We like Revoke. Revoke was a great card back in the day. This just cancel an ability. We needed it. This cancels responses if they try and deal with our answer with our one move. So we needed just this on board.
Yeah.
That's the only thing we had to answer foundations under the evil symbol selectively off the board. That wasn't an attack card.
Yeah, it's also a somewhat popular deck, especially from like OCE this weekend going into Worlds, was the combo Deku deck, and a lot of the time that deck like hedges to beat you in like a response war, and you don't have like enough health necessarily for them to need that many turns of setup before they start throwing stuff at you that's like for your life total symmetrically, and generally they skip the enhanced step with Phantom Threat, and that's perfect segue. You have at least like 2 ways pre-board to hedge for that, with like you can try and fight them in the response war, so maybe it takes them one more turn to do it, and maybe you have like the ability to like, you know, set up a plow through with like enough instances of plus damage or like plus health to use recoups and stuff like that.
Exactly. So these were also very key to that because they can cancel the air cancels usually.
Yeah.
But this is actually the card I'm going to bring up. This is the key to my deck, actually. Yes, there's only 3, but I have another way of picking up more, so that doesn't matter. These plus Desperate Plea, if you played against any deck that played high attacks as like their base, you could always block Showdown. You can build it. And then we have an attack. I'll just show this whole little cool combo quick. Our main attack that we were playing as our pokes was Max Overhaul. So you can block with this, build down the Showdown. Next turn, play this from our discard pile. It's played from out your hand. Pick them back up. Rebuild these. You always have Showdown. Showdown will forever be in your hand.
Yeah, and then generally like part of the somewhat drawback of like Max Overhaul is the fact that you are like going Foundation minus to use it, but if you've built with Desperate Plea, you're Foundation neutral, and especially if you're picking up a block trick, buying yourself that extra 1 turn to get to the point where you have like everything set up, because at any point in time, as long as you have a non-Foundation card, your character can tutor like whatever attack that you need from your discard pile. You just need to buy more often than not that extra turn, and against those like high attack string decks like Pony, like Ymir, like whatever else, or even like off zone blocking with that's not too bad, because then you have some health deficit to be able to use your recoup times. It's just an incredibly like powerful block setup.
Yeah, I agree. Yep, that is the main reason I was doing it. Next, we have the way we pick it up. This is probably the best card in the deck, honestly. I'm surprised more people don't play this card. Fierce Wings. So everyone wants to play the stun keyword or commit your cards in some way, right? No one wants you to play honest. So this card says we can still play honest because they commit our card. We can just show them this card from our hand, don't have to make a check, and just rebuild back in whatever they committed.
Yeah.
If we have another copy. Most of the time I use this to play recoup times and Immortals to get the combo set up faster. Otherwise, this picked up Showdown if I didn't have it yet, or Barrier Shields to block anything I want.
Yeah, and a lot of the time, like, punishing your opponent for stunning you or like touching your board at all, generally speaking, if people are going for like a poke turn, or like in their head they're going for a poke turn against Elder, you play the Sonic drowning music in your head when you build like a recoup time in, or like an Immortal Shapeshifter, where suddenly, oh, I'm panicking because not only is this turn probably not going to kill one of the most defensive characters in the game, I am definitely dead on the crackback as a result of that. So like it often makes unforced errors out of like what your opponent is doing on their turn after the fact.
Yes. So we had 4 Barrier Shield as well. This card is extremely good when you're also playing Combined Firepower in your deck. If they ever play a mid attack on you, you can just discard this from your hand, block with this from discard pile, or as Elder, this has 0 speed on it. Damn. I have a cough. 1 second. I'll even cough to make it work.
Yeah, so I know where to cut it back in.
Okay, so Barrier Shield, set speed to 0. Our character swaps stats. You can swap after you set to 0. If they play another move, you can then block and breaker to them.
Yeah.
So they have to play another attack, maybe check bad, commit cards, and then get breaker to after that too.
Correct, yeah. It's also like you said, it's a modal speed or damage reset, so it's like
correct.
Very, very versatile.
Correct. And then we also have Runaway. If there's ever a move that they gave a bunch of symmetrical stats to that we can't answer, we can use this.
Yeah, and in conjunction with the response ward stuff that you have in your deck, you can usually
stop the responses from being canceled.
Yeah, you can usually just make that work against most decks that aren't Deku. Sometimes Deku packs like enough cancels that it might kill you, but the amount of time that actually happens versus the amount of time that you have an answer that works is
correct.
Yeah.
And I haven't even talked about one of the abilities. I'm gonna bring my. Oh, we're also playing I'm With You. We talked about it. I said it on the side. It's to trigger combined firepower. That's the only reason why. We don't have a lot of remove other than our action cards, and we don't want to use these on our own cards, so we need these to trigger it.
Yeah.
We destroyed. Easy.
Yep.
Do it. Okay. Attack cards. So I already talked about max overall. This move here is just like our poke attack. We needed one. Elder says we can discard our combines over these runaways that we don't need all the time to play it from our discard pile to pick up our cards. So essentially, we don't need to play that many attacks, which is really nice because as a player, I always check a million attacks, and that proved.
Yeah.
I do not play that many, and I still lost to checking 3s. So
You can only do so much.
you can only do so much. Yeah, I can only modify it so much, right?
Yeah, I believe in our stream match, I think you checked plow through like twice in the first 2 turns across all 3 of our games.
Yes.
Which, you know, makes it a little bit hard to build on safety 3s, quote unquote.
Exactly. So a lot of answers to one-shot decks. There are a lot of assets in the game that have problems on it. So we're playing one of these mainboarded. It says if you play from anywhere other than your hand, it ignores progressive difficulty. So as our character, we could build out and then play this as our last card, and then blow their asset up, gain some life back, pass our turn. We don't care if they block it. It's like an action card that maybe does 5 if they don't care. Most of the time it said they discard an attack, and that was pretty nice with it.
Yeah, it's not bad. Also, gains life, so in a weird world where they're somehow at not a ton, you can trigger recoups and maybe kill them with it?
Yeah.
Question mark?
And then I have 7 cards that can win the game for me. That's it. Only 7.
That's all we need.
Obviously, the good one. This card is insane. Most of the time, my deck would build to 10 foundations. My opponent would be forced to build to 15 to 20, no matter what. I purposely did not put any deadlock in my deck, so they didn't feel scared to. They would tap half their board to attack me. They'd have to stop. I would play one of these, and they would die. Because if you can enhance on this and then swap the stats, it's unblockable. If they've tapped half their board, there's no way they can block it.
Makes sense to me.
So then you would do that, and then you'd recruitment time, gain life, and this is for 30. That is most of the time how I won all my games.
Yeah,
They
I
would
believe.
expect this thing that I'm going to show you in a second, and I would just play one of these and kill them.
Yeah, I believe I watched you from the jaws of defeat against a Ghidorah in teams, like just barely play enough attacks, and this was the clincher.
He had 3 heads still at the end, and he had tapped completely out to try and kill me. And I said, I can do 10 3 times. So I played one of these. It did 10. It was unblockable. I played one of these. It did 10. It was unblockable. I played one of these. It did 10. It was unblockable. So
Simple as.
this is the best card in the deck by far. Honestly, don't even know if I needed this other card in my deck. It was just so cool that I wanted to play it. Plow through enemies.
I don't know if I needed the kill condition in my deck.
So this card punished anyone for ever attacking me. If I had, say, 2 recoups and maybe 2 immortals on my board, this thing was like a 40 speed for 40 on average. If I had some destroy gain lives, just because it says every time it gains damage, it gets 2 speed. So every time you gain life per recoup time you have built, that's 1 damage, right?
Yeah.
So say you have destroy gain 1 life on the board, brief respite, and you destroy. You have 2 immortals. You respond, gain 1, 3 recoup times. That's 9 instances of damage. You gain 9 damage. You gain 18 speed.
Which
For
could,
1 enhance.
Which could be 18 damage if you want.
Well, every immortal gets to destroy 1 as well. Respond.
Yeah.
I played against Keenan in teams, final round. I just won teams with this.
Congrats.
Went undefeated. Even though Tam's stream will say I lost one, they made me scoop it. Don't believe them.
Coward.
I just played one of these, and I said, do you have the 2 mid block? No, you're dead. I played it every turn until he didn't have the 2 mid block. That reset it to printed.
Yeah. On to sideboard, or?
Yeah, we can move on to the sideboard. I messed up on my sideboard.
Okay.
This is not what you should play as your sideboard.
All right.
I thought Godzilla would be more relevant. I did not see a single one in 24 rounds I played this weekend. This card says if it's destroyed, you get to build an extra card. It's the only card that I had for evil to try and play against it. This was good against Ymir. Very strong card against Ymir. It says if they try and build a 9 exactly, you can remove it before they get a flip. They don't get a flip. So, very good against Ymir. Extra cancel. Probably should have been the main board instead of one of these, but hindsight's 2020, right? I have an extra asset hate card. Assets are very strong. If anyone decide to actually play Mimic, I wanted 2 of these. So. Or VMEs. I hate that card, so
Yeah.
we wanted a second one. I know Kambu Deku is one of my worst matchups, so I put this card as a 2 of on my side. This is the only way to get your card played. You play this one, on play it says commit their character, they don't get a respond to flash or move.
I didn't realize that was a static. Or no,
It's a response.
Response,
First
sorry.
response.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah. And they're going to build to 10. They can't kill me without building like
They
that.
have to,
So,
yeah.
this was the answer to the Deku. I did have it in my side. I never fought a Deku, but everyone kept telling me that Deku was a bad matchup, and I said, well, maybe after game 1.
Yeah.
It won't be. And then I had one unexpected outcome. This card, if you can play it every turn with your character card, it's really good. Especially against all the life decks that have Rejuvenating Smash. You can play this from your discard pile, remove the Rejuve, play this as your Rejuve. It's your second card. You get to draw 2 game 2.
9-hander.
I pretty much only sided it in when I wanted to either take a 2-check out of my deck or play it against a really slow matchup like Rodan or Jin or... There are a lot of decks that were trying to mill me. And I milled every single one of them out that I played against. I said, you are not milling me, I'm milling you.
Except for that Ghidorah, who you killed.
I did kill that guy because he tried to mill me and I said no.
You said, how
I will
dare
kill
you?
actually.
All right, well,
But yeah, that's what I decided to play. I was on Ymir for a long time, but I just wanted to play something fun. And 2-check's funny.
yeah, 2
I
checks.
like bad checks.
2 checks funny. You like bad checks except when you're making them. But yeah, I mean, thanks for the profile, man. Congratulations on your win teams and congrats on your top 32 finish.
Yeah, thank you.